Tonight on Prime Business, the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association is appealing to veterinary services to properly streamline its operations to help curb spread of bird flu.
The Services Department must step up the effort because, like I said, if you go to a farmer and ask the farmer, you give the farmer the disinfectant without supervising the disinfection yourself as veterinary service officer, then you are not helping to control the spread of the virus.
Also, 1 out of every 6 Ghanaians take quick loan via their mobile phone as loan disbursement via digital space expands.
It's 42 million loans. That's the loan count. In terms of disbursements, we do an average of, let's say, 10 million cedis a day. So that's roughly 300 million a month. That's 3.6 billion a year.
We will tell you more from the data. Plus, organized labor kicks against Ghana returning to the IMF for economic assistance. We'll hear from its Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, who says Ghana should pursue its homegrown policy to transform the economy.
So that we can change this country ourselves. We don't need IMF. We don't. We need our own stakeholders who are committed to developing this country.
We have all of these and more coming up in the next 30 minutes. Please stay with us. I am Beverly Broohm. Hello and welcome. Let's settle down for the details now. The Poultry Farmers Association of Ghana is appealing to the Ghana Veterinary Services to properly streamline its operations to help curb the spread of bird flu in the country. According to the farmers, the charges imposed by the veterinary services before affected poultry farms are disinfected are unbearable since farmers are already making losses from the destruction of the birds affected by the flu. Here's President of the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association of Ghana, Kwame Intimdodu.
We should step up. The Veterinary Services Department must step up the effort because, like I said, if you go to a farmer and ask the farmer, you give the farmer the disinfectant without supervising the disinfection yourself as veterinary service officer, then you are not helping to control the spread of the virus. The farmer may reluctantly do it or may not do it at all. If that person lost all his or her birds and realizes or thinks he or she is never going to go back into the poultry business, he might just forget about disinfecting the place. After all, he's not going to do the poultry farm again. And that makes that point a further risk point for the spread of the virus. We expect the Veterinary Services Department to go and disinfect, kill the remaining birds, and then to disinfect the whole environment against further spread of the virus from that point to other points or other farms. But the same farmers, they move from one farm to another farm looking for jobs. So if that farm was affected and the worker has nowhere to go, he looks for another place to go and get a job there, another farm. And we also have the value chain. Drivers, cars that send food to these farms move from farm to farm. So the potential of spreading the virus from that point to other farms is there. That's why we expect the vet services to supervise, to do this or supervise the disinfection and control of the virus.
Data from financial service operators Leshego has shown that 1 out of 6 Ghanaians have resort to quick loans through their mobile phones. According to the company, over 42 million cedis loan were dispersed on its platform through mobile phones in 2021. Chief Executive of Leshego, Arnold Parker, announced the figures and the Ghana Stock Exchange's facts behind the figures program.
Presenting its records at the Ghana Stock Exchange's fact behind the figures, Chief Executive of Leshego Ghana, Arnold Parker, said the continuous investment in technology over the years seems to be paying off. Leshego's 2021 performance was largely positive despite the pandemic. He explains that about 10 million Ghana cedis worth of loans were disbursed in a day on the average.
So it's 42 million loans. That's the loan count. In terms of disbursements, we do an average of, let's say, 10 million cedis a day. So that's roughly 300 million a month. That's 3.6 billion a year, technically. So it's it's been a big learning experience. I mean, together with our partners, Jumo, MTN, it's been a lot of learning, understanding customer behavior, understanding repayment behavior, being able to schedule loans and repayments in ways that would ensure that collections remain optimal. So it's work in progress. There's a lot more to be done in that space, and hopefully in the coming years that's what we're paying more attention to.
Deputy Managing Director of the Exchange, Abena Amwa, disclosed that the Ghana Stock Exchange will continue to support listed companies in their quest to expand. She also hinted that the exchange has received approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission to commence some green bond initiatives which will also make funds available for listed institutions.
Another key thing for ensuring we meet our objectives is to continuously introduce new products and services. I'm pleased to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that we have approval to launch our green bond, social bond, gender bond, and other sustainability themed bond products on the market. Our regulator Securities and Exchange Commission has recently approved the rules, and we will be working with issuers and with investors in the market to introduce sustainability themed products on the market.
Meanwhile, the stock exchange has been affected by global inflationary trend as some investment portfolios have begun to shrink.
The Secretary General of Trade Union Congress, TUC, Dr. Yalba, has reiterated the call for a homegrown policy to transform the country's economy rather than International Monetary Fund-sponsored program. He spoke at the unveiling of the National Employment Insurance Scheme under the Ghana Cares About Ampa initiative. Dr. Yalba said the country will be transformed with the tactical approach to addressing challenges by stakeholders. He believes the scheme will be a game changer and there will be no need for an IMF program.
Seriously in trouble. The economy is in serious trouble. And I think this initiative is going to tell us how to deal with it. The stakeholder approach works. You just want open-mindedness and patience and so on. My expectation is that because of the component for productivity, ethics, and attitudinal change, this will extend to all public sector workers. All. And if we manage to do that in the next 2 to 3 years, this country will change forever in terms of how we see work. I believe so, that we can change this country ourselves. We don't need IMF. We don't. We need our own stakeholders who are committed to developing this country. And with this, my hope is coming back.
Meanwhile, senior finance lecturer with the University of Cape Coast, Seram Kawo, is supporting suggestions from the Trades Union Congress, urging government not to go for the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. The TUC, among other reasons, stated that going to the IMF will lead to sanctions on the public sector, a move that is likely to freeze employment and wage increase for public sector workers. Reacting to the issue, Mr. Kawo maintained that going to the IMF will worsen the condition of public sector workers.
IMF comes in, they are not coming to give the money free of charge. They will want some conditionalities to be met. And some we have seen over the period is a freeze on employment into the public sector. And sometimes salaries might not be increased over a period of time. And for that matter, TUC have the right to have that kind of fear on Ghana going back to the IMF to do the things. Already in the international market, we have been able to raise some amount of money, though not the volumes that we want to raise over time. And so going back to the IMF will tighten the situation that we find ourselves in now, will make it more harsher for us. And for that matter, if we are able to have homegrown solutions to our problems, has been done in the previous government when they went to Senchi and all the rest, that will go a long way to help us. That will be the very thing when IMF comes into our country, they are going to recommend for us. What we need is that we need to have the fiscal discipline in terms of expenditure and the rest, and that's the situation that we are in now.
Ghana has the second highest policy interest rate in sub-Saharan Africa after Angola. That's according to Fish Solutions tracking of 20 African countries after recent adjustment of the key lending rate of the central banks on the continent. Charles Nixon Yeboah has more in the following report.
Ghana's banking industry is characterized by high lending rates, making cost of doing business expensive compared to neighboring Ivory Coast and Nigeria. However, this is due to weak fiscal economy, compelling the Bank of Ghana to increase its benchmark indicator, the policy rate, to help control the rising inflation as well as the volatility of the cedi. The policy rate, which is a key indicator that the central bank lends to commercial banks, have gone up by 5.5% in the last 9 months. Though some have argued that the Bank of Ghana's inflation targeting framework is not the best tool to fight inflation, the central bank thinks otherwise. The policy rate is a key determinant of lending rates in the country, but that is not the only factor banks consider in pricing loans. Banks will usually not lend below 91-day treasury bill rate, which is presently above 24%. The financial intermediaries also prioritize inflation, cost of funds, and non-performing loans. Meanwhile, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and Gabon have the lowest policy rate of 3.5% each in sub-Saharan Africa.
Let's do some news on technology now. With scientific and technological advancement having a significant global impact, Ghanaians have been urged to embrace technology in order to grow the economy. Greater Accra trainer for Techno Ghana, Michael Mriku has therefore commended the government's efforts but called for additional investments in the sector to help deepen economic growth. He spoke to Joy Business at the unveiling of Techno's new product.
Ghana's ICT sector continues to play a key role in Ghana's broader economic growth, contributing more than 40% to the overall GDP growth rate. According to Michael Mriku, an investment in the tech space will reduce costs and improve profitability. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of Techno Ghana's Come On 19 phone, he stated that the investment should be done from the scratch to expand the economy in the long run.
Well, technology is one thing that is very important. Speaking from a background where I indulged in technology myself, I think technology is very, very important to our key. As a country, I think we should invest more into technology, especially software development and also software or application development. As you can witness, that these are the basic things that we work with that enables us to do whatever we have to do. Looking at WhatsApp, social medias, we are all over this. So technology is a backbone. It's not becoming the backbone of our nature or as a nation. You can never do anything without technology. The world is improvising, the world is improving with technology. And when coming to mobile phones as well, technology is also one of the most important things. You see, right now we do everything on our phones, send emails, send pictures, take pictures, send messages and everything. Technology is a backbone. So I think as a country we should invest. We should start with the basics. We should introduce technology to the kids coming up, junior high. You should invest them. You should get them interested in technology. Who knows, there might be more innovative design and also talents out there that we can get from. Yeah.
The sector includes telecommunication service providers, internet service providers, software OEMs, and training institutions.
Away from technologies, let's head to the Upper East region, where 3 communities in the Upper East region are benefiting from projects in education, guinea fowl rearing and plastic basket weaving after receiving prizes for their participation in the LG Ambassador Challenge. Now, the challenge was aimed at helping the participating communities to identify problems facing them and propose projects that could help solve the problem. At the end of the challenge, the Anafo BC and Nyariga communities in Bongo and the Tindonso Sobligo community in Bolgatanga are benefiting from the project being implemented, with the 6,000 Ghana cedis cash prizes presented to them for emerging winners. Our correspondent Albert Sore has more in the following report.
The LG Ambassador Challenge was started in the year 2020 by Korea Food for the Hungry International and supported by South Korean multinational electronics company LG Electronics. The challenge was for various community groups to pitch ideas about projects they could implement to help solve various problems in their communities. At the end of the challenge this year, the groups from Anafo BC and Nyariga, both in the Bongo district, won prizes to implement projects aimed at improving education and the local economy, respectively. The group from the Tindonsobligo community in the Bolgatanga municipality also won a prize to implement a guinea fowl rearing project aimed at economically empowering the people in the community. They were awarded 60,000 Ghana cedis each to implement the project. Samuel Ofori Menu is a project manager at Korea Food for the Hungry International, an NGO that specializes in child development programs and also working to support communities achieve their goals.
Your proposal will then be evaluated based on this criteria: the effectiveness, feasibility, manageability, sustainability, and so on. Then you will be selected and awarded with an amount of 60,000 Ghana cedis to fund your projects. This year, over 100 communities applied, and out of these 3 communities were awarded.
At the Anafo BC community, the education project aimed at improving access to information communication technology, ICT. A new ICT lab has therefore been set up for the Anafo BC Junior High School. Hitherto, the pupils of this school never had access to any computers.
And we are very grateful for providing us these computers. We will now know how to work in the computer. We promise you that we will perform well in BEC.
At the Nyariga community in the Bongo district, the community group invested the prize money from the LG Ambassador Challenge into a plastic basket weaving project. The project does not only create employment, it also helps to keep the environment clean by making use of plastic waste. Philemon Amwa is a leader of the group.
We were using only the straw to weave the basket, then which consumes a lot of straw before you can complete one basket. But now LGA has come to train us on how we can use plastic plus the material to make a basket, which means that it reduces the cost of materials. And 2, when you look at our sanitation sector, LGA has also helped us to know that the plastic that we are throwing around, they are very important in our business.
The Tindonsobligo community in the Bolgatanga municipality have invested their 60,000 Ghana cedi prize from the LG Ambassador Challenge into a guinea fowl rearing business. A well-structured shelter has been built for keeping the birds and an incubator installed for hatching eggs. A tricycle has also been procured for the farm. Here is a youth of the community who works on the guinea fowl farm.
So far, the guinea fowl, they are helping us. Some of us we don't have work. They also come and then get something. As far as we have the feeding, we give them. It's not difficult like that.
Last year, 3 winners of the LG Ambassador Challenge went home with 50,000 Ghana cedis each, which they invested in various projects. It is hoped that the program will be extended so that more communities can benefit. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
Duraplast Ghana Limited says it is bent on supporting to beef up security at the industrial area. Speaking to Joy Business at a donation to the Kaneshie District Police Command, Marketing Manager for Duraplast Limited, Frank Teria, says the gesture forms part of the company's public engagement aimed at tackling development challenges in the society.
It forms part of Duraplast public engagement aimed at tackling developmental challenges in our society. The company donated chairs and tables to the Kaneshie Police District Command. Frank Teria, marketing manager for the company, maintained that a support to the security agency is pertinent in our society.
Kaneshie Police has been in good partnership with Duraplast. Anytime the structures problem that we have, they will come to our aid. Now, there was a time they wrote to us for an assistant to renovate their office. You saw is the need, as part of our social responsibility, to also come to their aid. So we just presented this thing to them as a form of motivation to also enable them to work better and improve the services that they are rendering to the entire nation. We are most grateful also to be given the opportunity to also help them. That is why we've also presented this thing. So we thank them for all the services that they rendered to us all these years. It's out of our normal services that you render to them. But you see, any company that is working within an environment, social responsibility is one of the most important things that you have to do. Not only to your workers, but to any company or any person that works within the environment, the environs where the company has been operating. So we see it as a form of social responsibility to them.
Chief Superintendent Elizabeth Dankwa, District Commander for Kaneshie District, commended Duraplast and called for more support from corporate institutions.
In fact, the current IGP wants to have community and police engagement, and as part of our community engagement, we've been interacting with most of the companies in the industrial area, and Duraplast is one of the people we recently engaged them in the community engagement. So we requested for these items, and in fact they really helped us provide these items. Due to what Duraplast has done, I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to the other companies, specifically around industrial area, north and south industrial area, to come to our aid. And the division is also putting up an edifice for DOFSU and for the other units. So we are taking this opportunity to appeal to all the stakeholders within our community to come to our assistance.
Duraplast has played an important role in our society over the years.
That's all for Business Now. Thank you so much for watching. Visit myjoyonline.com for more of our business stories. We'll leave you with news making headlines on the international front. I am Beverly Broohm. Have a good evening.